The red light's on.
Oh, okay. Should we? Oh, yeah, it's recording. All right.
Okay.
So these are the questions really I gave you before.
Okay.
So just for the record, your name and your major?
My name is Tess Wenderski, and I have 2 majors, sign language interpreting and English.
I didn't know that.
I added the English one last year.
Well, you rascal.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many semesters you worked for the Writing Center?
9.
Really?
Yeah, 3 of them have been over the summer.
Oh my gosh. What are your plans after graduation?
Over the summer, I'm planning on kind of giving back to the deaf community and volunteering at different agencies. And then in end of August, I'm going to grad school, Gallaudet in D.C.
Okay, so this is one of those hard questions. What are the most significant qualities, for example, insights, abilities, values, skills lesson that you developed in your work as a peer writing tutor?
I think that I've developed more patience and more open-mindedness since starting at the Writing Center.
Okay. Could you give me an example of one or the other?
I think
Okay.
an example would be there is one student I've worked with several times, and she has been struggling with an eating disorder, and it's come up in some of her papers.
Okay.
And before, I was a little bit unsure of how to deal with it just because it's kind of very personal. But after working with her a couple of times, we developed more of a rapport, and she trusted me more.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was more accepting and able to understand where she was coming from after that.
Oh, cool. Of the qualities you listed above, please illustrate those that strike you as most meaningful by sharing an episode or session that took place during your time as a tutor. I guess another episode.
Another episode.
Okay.
I think working with ESL students has made me be more patient just because there's the language barrier and also the cultural barrier. Sometimes, even when they're very willing to learn, it's just difficult to breach the language barrier and explain why the correct preposition is in and not on. It's just because that's something that I know because I've learned English, but it's something that's more difficult to explain.
Yeah.
But I've developed tools talking with other tutors and working with more ESL students.
Okay. Did these qualities influence your acceptance to grad school? You mentioned open-mindedness and patience.
I think so because for the grad school application we had to talk about activities we've done and ways that we've been involved in the community, and just being more patient and open-minded has just helped me be a more willing participant in society, I think.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
I have worked as a volunteer at a deaf church, and so now that I'm more comfortable with the language, it's less awkward, but when I first started it was kind of a struggle because everybody had to be patient with me, and I had to learn to be patient with myself as well. Mm-hmm. So by doing that I could participate in the church environment. Okay.
So you feel the Writing Center work helped develop that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also just interpersonal skills, working with people, both students and other tutors, has helped me develop ways of navigating maybe difficult situations or interactions, and has helped me be more professional and understanding of other people.
Okay. I guess that leads to the next question. Did these qualities that you developed as a peer writing tutor seem to influence your social or family relationships? Please elaborate and provide an example if applicable.
I think they do because I come from a more conservative family, and both because of my time at the Writing Center and just as a person growing into herself, I've become more liberally minded. And I think because at the Writing Center, there's a lot of people talk about what they're feeling and what they think, and it's been a great chance for me to grow. So interacting with people who I might disagree with, it's helped me kind of talk about our differences and why I feel the way I do.
Okay, well, good. To what extent has your writing been influenced by your training and or work as a tutor?
I'm much more aware of my commas. I think that because I've worked with other students and there's so many different ways of writing the same thing, I'm more aware that there is a million different ways to write something and they're all correct. I'll be working with a student and I might say, how can you explain this part more, or what more can you add here? And I'll already have an idea of what I would say, and then the student writes something else and it's completely different, but it's even better. So just kind of knowing that there's a million different ways to do everything and it's still right has helped me be more aware of my own writing.
Okay. What have you learned from work? I guess this is partially maybe be addressed with that answer. What have you learned from working with other people's writing?
Pretty
You
much
kinda
the
answered
same
this.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Were there any downsides to your experience as a peer writing tutor? My feelings won't be hurt.
Okay.
Okay.
I think the hardest part has been not being able to help everybody, or not being able to help everybody as much as I feel I should be able to, whether it's because of time and we have appointments and walk-ins and I have to tell somebody to either come back or we can't help them, or it's because a student is having a rough day or I'm having a rough day. If either I or the student walks away seeming like they haven't been helped as much as they should, then I'm kind of personally frustrated by that. But other than that, it's been pretty great.
Good. Okay, is there anything you want to add about your experience here, or what the Writing Center has done for you or to you?
This has probably been my best job, and I'm only 20, but I think I've had about 10 different jobs. Yeah, which is a whole bunch. But the environment is great, and everybody here, all of the tutors I've worked with have been very welcoming and understanding, and even if we don't always agree on things, we are very civil, and like we all get along really well, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's one thing I like to see, is people becoming good friends.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll keep up with people that you've got to know here?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah. Well, Laura Haldane, here, I can shut this off.
Okay.
All right, let's see.